Hello guys, we are back in new fanfic, and if enjoying this then please share and like part 1. Now let's start the fanfic. The three beings of legend were all giddy with excitement on the inside as much as they tried to hide it. Konohagakure, 8 years later. For a long time Naruto Uzumaki did not understand why he was treated as a pariah in his village. It never made sense as to how so many people could treat a child as young as him so terribly. Over half the stores either overcharged him or just didn't let him in their store. Adults looked at him with hatred. They tell their children not to play with him. All they do is try to ostracize him the best way they can. Naruto hated it. He hated how he was the one who had to endure such suffering. Why him? How come he couldn't have a say-so in any of this? It wasn't until a few weeks ago when he got hit in the head with a bottle by a drunken villager. Did he find out why was he so hated? The reason was because he is the Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi no Yoko. Everything made sense after that. He finally got his answer from the big fox himself. When the bottle knocked Naruto unconscious, the blonde was drawn to his mindscape. To the boy's surprise, Kurama was pretty cool. At first he was really mean, but it didn't take long for the fox to warm up to the blonde. Kurama has explained everything to Naruto. Said boy was very shocked to find out who his parents were. It only made him come up with more questions. How could so many people be ignorant as to his appearance? Naruto was literally a carbon copy of his father Minato Namikaze. If people paid enough attention, they would see how his attitude resembles his mother's. Kurama showed Naruto many memories of his parents so the blonde could get to somewhat know how they were when they were still alive. Imagine Naruto's surprise when Kurama explained to him that his parents' remaining chakra were deep inside of him. At some point in time, he will be able to meet his own parents inside of his mindscape. While physically they were dead, they were still alive inside of Naruto. This whole time they were always with Naruto. Learning that brought Naruto to tears. He wondered just how his parents would look at Konoha now if they knew how the villagers treated him. All Naruto hopes is that he will be able to make some more friends like Kurama someday. Maybe even have a family. Little did he know, his wish was going to be granted. Uchiha District. Sasuke Uchiha hated being compared to his brother. He hated how his father always seemed to cast him aside as if he wasn't good enough. It wasn't that Sasuke hated his brother or father, but he was fed up with being around them. It's a constant reminder to him saying that he will never be good enough. The only saving grace he has is his mother. During the last few months, Sasuke has been spending more time with his mother. Rather than chasing Itachi, the 8-year-old Uchiha realized that his mother was the only one who saw something in him. Mikoto Uchiha would tell her youngest son all the time about how proud she is of him. Just knowing that always made Sasuke's chest feel warm. As he grew closer to his mother, Sasuke started wondering more about her. Being so focused on following Itachi and making his father proud, the young Uchiha never realized that his mother was very strong. He heard rumors about how she was said to be stronger than his father. That bit of knowledge was shocking to Sasuke. From his perspective, his mother always seemed so kind. For him, it's hard to imagine her out on a battlefield. Slowly but surely, Sasuke was starting to have a different opinion on who really runs his family. Sure, he knew his father Fugaku was strong. However, he didn't seem like much compared to Itachi and Mikoto. As of right now, Sasuke was actually sitting in front of his father. He was listening to his father's disappointment in him. Sasuke, how long have you been working on the jutsu I taught you? Fugaku asked. Sasuke frowned. 3 weeks, father. Fugaku sighed. He looked at his youngest son with disappointment clear in his eyes. I knew you weren't going to be like Itachi. Your brother mastered the Grand Fireball Jutsu on his first try. As my son, it's disappointing to know you are struggling with such a basic technique. Sasuke grit his teeth. I'm sorry I couldn't measure up to Ni-san. You need to do better, Sasuke. At your age, Itachi had already graduated from the academy. He was a prodigy like no other. Being the youngest to ever join the Anbu Black Ops Division. Your brother brings great pride to our clan. It's a shame that I can't brag about you to our clan elders like I do with Itachi. They are also disappointed that they haven't heard anything special about you as of yet. You still have yet to awaken your Sharingan. Itachi did this at age 6. Seriously, you need to pick up the pace, Sasuke. Otherwise I won't be able to look at you with pride as my son and as the clan head. Right now I only see you as a disappointment. Fugaku spoke sternly to his youngest child. Sasuke couldn't believe what he just heard. He knew his father didn't think as highly of him as he did Itachi. But never would have thought that his own father saw him as a disappointment to not only him as his son, but a disappointment to the clan as well. He was shaking slightly in anger, tears falling out of his eyes. Well, if you see me as a disappointment so much, then don't claim me as your son ever again. I hate you, father. Sasuke ran out of the room. He ran all the way to the front of the house. His mother Mikoto heard loud footsteps while she was in the kitchen. Sasuke-chan, what's wrong? She asked while walking out of the kitchen. Me, what's wrong? I'm nothing more than a disappointment as a son and to the clan. Sasuke yelled through his tears. Mikoto gasped. She ran up to her youngest child. Sasuke, what would ever make you think such a thing? The raven-haired boy moved his mother's hands off of him. According to father, that's all I am, since I can never compare to Itachi. So screw him if he thinks so little of me. I hate him. He ran out of the door. Mikoto went wide-eyed at her son's answer. She didn't even try to go after Sasuke. She knew he needed to calm down. If she truly needed to find him, she could do so easily. Her attention was now focused on her husband. Anger was coursing through her veins. She walked to the room her husband was sitting in. Mikoto wasn't surprised at all that he was sitting down rather than going after their son. Did you really say that to Sasuke? She asked in a steel tone. I only told him the truth. The elders along with myself see Sasuke as a disappointment compared to Itachi. It's taking him far too long to learn our clan's rite of passage. Fugaku answered. The temperature in the room dropped. If Fugaku was scared, his facial expression sure didn't show it. Mikoto was absolutely livid at the moment. She was oozing out killer intent like crazy. Are you serious, Fugaku? Exclamation mark. He's an 8-year-old boy. You can't expect him to turn out like Itachi. Hell, I hate how Itachi turned out. He's so cold now, and I know it's because of what you and the elders put him through. All Sasuke wanted is for his father to pay attention to him. You never show him the amount of attention that you do Itachi. He barely even knows anything about you. And now he's going to develop resentment for you and Itachi. All because you want him to be another once-in-a-generation prodigy. You can't do that, Fugaku. I refuse for you to break down and build my son to how you see fit. Sasuke shouldn't have to feel like he's in his brother's shadow all the time. He shouldn't have to face that constant reminder of how much better Itachi was at his age. It's not fair to him. So what if he hasn't mastered that damn fireball jutsu? Have you even thought of helping him so he could get past his struggles? No, you haven't. As a father, it's your job to guide your son. Just as it's the same for me as a mother. But you are clearly failing at it. When Sasuke gets back, I want you to apologize to him. Mikoto told off his husband. I am the clan head, Mikoto. You have no right to order me around. Fugaku flashed his Mangekyo Sharingan. Mikoto rolled her eyes before she flashed her own Mangekyo Sharingan. Only hers was the exact same as Madara Uchiha's Sharingan. It is well known just how powerful Mikoto Uchiha is throughout all of the continent. It is said that there's never been a more powerful Sharingan ever since the days of Madara Uchiha himself. Her killing intent really flooded the room. As Fugaku broke out into a cold sweat. His heart was beating erratically. It's been a while since he's felt this type of fear. To add on some more effect of how serious she is, Mikoto summoned the rib cage of her Susanoo. Just like Madara, the color of Mikoto's Susanoo was blue as well. Don't get ahead of yourself, Fugaku. You know the only reason you are even the clan head is because I did not want to deal with the position. Don't let our clan's arrogance get the best of you. Now I will say this again. You will apologize to Sasuke. Do I make myself clear? She spoke in a cold, harsh tone. Fugaku nodded fearfully. When Mikoto stopped using her Sharingan, she left him in his cold sweat. The Uchiha matriarch sighed. Her family was falling apart. While she and Sasuke were very close, he was her pride and joy. Unfortunately, she didn't have the closest relationship to her eldest son. While Itachi was never disrespectful towards her, as he got older, he became more distant. Lately, he's been a lot more distant to Sasuke than usual. Then there was her so-called husband. She knew that her marriage with Fugaku is failing. Their marriage was an arranged marriage. But Mikoto did end up falling in love with the stoic Fugaku Uchiha. Unfortunately, that love only lasted a few years. Now Mikoto could say she borderline hated him. She didn't like how he looked down on her as if she was beneath him. She hated how he treated Sasuke. She also hated what he turned Itachi into. Another thing she didn't like is how secretive he is about the clan affairs. Lately, Mikoto has been noticing a few things going on with her clan. The police force seemed to be more aggressive towards anyone who wasn't an Uchiha. And the atmosphere felt more tense at times. Mikoto hoped that she was overthinking things. But being a kunoichi as long as she has been, she knew something was going to happen eventually. For right now, all she cared about was her precious Sasuke returning home safely. Haruno residence. Sakura Haruno did not enjoy her home life. In fact, she hated it more than anything. Everything went downhill for her when her father died when she was 4 years old. Her mother was a lot more sad and angry. However, she never took her anger out on Sakura until her mother got remarried to her stepfather 2 years ago. Her stepfather's name was Hiro. Hiro is a former Chunin who retired from the ninja forces. When Sakura first met him, she always felt something was off about him. No matter how hard she tried to shake the feeling away, it never went away until she wasn't by Hiro. She learned the true nature of Hiro when he yelled at her one day for asking her mother for something. That made her mother yell at her as well. From that point on, her life got worse. Every day she would always be berated for something. She would even get smacked across the face from her mother even when Hiro lied on her. Which he does, numerous times. Then one day Hiro came into her room at night. He was acting a bit off. She could tell he was drunk. But the way he was talking to her was different. Sakura never noticed a thing until he touched her out of nowhere. He didn't do much, but he did fondle around with her body. Sakura could never forget how scared and disgusted she felt. When he left her alone, the Pinkett ran into the bathroom to scrub herself clean for over an hour. Even after that, she still felt his hands on her. From there on, Hiro kept molesting Sakura. No matter how hard she tried to resist. Even when she cried to her mother for help, all Hiro would do is laugh at her. She will never forget the words Hiro said to her the first time she called her mother for help. You think she's going to help you? Get real, she knows better than to interfere with my fun. She knows just how much I want to touch you, Sakura dear. Why do you think your mother is so mean to you now? It's because I conditioned her to be this way. She was so close to killing herself before I met her. Now she's my little puppet for me to do whatever I want her to. She's long given me the okay to do whatever I please with you. Oh, the things you can convince a drug addict to do. Sorry to say, kid, but your mother doesn't really see you as her daughter anymore. You're more of a bother, if anything. The only reason she hasn't put you out in the streets yet is because she will get in trouble if word gets out about it. So she's letting you live her until you're old enough to put out. Now shut up and let me do what I came here to do. Hiro said to her. The Pinkett had cried herself to sleep that night. For the last 2 years she's had to deal with this type of abuse. She's had many bruises from both adults from whenever they hit her. Hiro never truly raped her yet, only because he was waiting for her to get old enough. Sakura always prayed that one day she will be able to escape this hell. She swore that she would get back at Hiro and her mother for what they put her through. While she didn't feel any emotional attachments to her mother anymore, Sakura still couldn't bring herself to say that she will kill her mother one day. No, she settled for never having contact with her again once Sakura finds somewhere she can go. Hiro, on the other hand, was on top of her kill list. He was going to have a very painful death in Sakura's mind. Unfortunately, she was having to deal with Hiro's foolishness right now. Alright kid, I know I said I was going to wait until you were older. But I'm getting rather impatient. While your mother is always a good, I want something a lot younger than her. So prepare yourself to lose your little virginity, Sakura. Hiro smirked evilly. Sakura's eyes widened in shock and fear. Hiro was walking up to her. She tried to run away, but she backed up into the wall. The older man grabbed her arm and yanked her towards him. He was groping her body all over just like he normally does. Sakura was trying to fight against him. But there was only so much an 8-year-old girl could do. She squirmed, kicked, scratched, punched, you name it. It only seemed to make Hiro more excited the more she struggled. Sakura was screaming for help when she felt his hand tug on her shorts. She was afraid of what was about to happen. She hated how she couldn't protect herself. And she hated how her own mother would allow something like this to happen to her own daughter. The Pinkett had tears flowing out of her eyes. When she felt Hiro touch her private part, she closed her eyes and prayed. Please someone, anyone, give me the strength to protect myself from him and get away from this place. I don't want to suffer like this anymore. Sakura paid to herself. It took less than 5 seconds for her to feel a foreign feeling engulf her body. It was like electricity was flowing through her entire nervous system. Scratch that her entire body felt different. That's when she felt her body start to move on its own and her own conscience was taking a backseat for the moment. Hiro was confused when he felt a spike of chakra coming from Sakura. It was like the whole room temperature just changed. Suddenly he was kicked hard in the stomach. So hard that he was sent flying to the other side on a wall. He looked up to see Sakura standing in a stance. Her hair, skin and eyes were all glowing a brighter color. Her hair and skin had a subtle glow. The brightest glowing feature was her eyes. They were narrowed. However, they held a cold chill to them. Her eyes were now that of a veteran war warrior. With speed and precision that's unheard of for a child. Sakura gave Hiro a brutal beat down. All of her hits were precise and strong. The older man felt as he was getting beaten blue. Sakura's body never stopped moving. It was delivering punch after punch, kick after kick, elbow after elbow to Hiro. She was hitting him with so much force that it was spider cracks forming all over the wall. Mebuki had long since ran in the room to see what was going on. She was terrified at the sight of her daughter beating up her husband so brutally. It was like she was watching a war veteran fight. Mebuki couldn't even walk up to her daughter to stop her. The amount of pressure she was feeling had her glued to the floor. Sakura ended her vicious beat down by punching Hiro hard in his neck, crushing his throat, causing the man to cough up much blood. The force of the hit broke the entire wall down. Sakura turned her head to her mother. Mebuki screamed in fear seeing how calm Sakura looked. She didn't understand why her daughter's eyes were glowing. It just scared the living hell out of her. Sakura turned her attention back to Hiro. She walked up to him and kicked the broken wall pieces off of his body. The Pinkett saw that Hiro was still breathing. All she did was walk over half of his body. She still had the same calm and collected look on her face. The Pinkett lifted up her foot, surged chakra through it and stomped down on the man's chest. Safe to say, Sakura crushed Hiro's heart. Surprisingly, she had no blood on her whatsoever. The Pinkett backed away from his body and walked away. Her mother screamed and ran up to Hiro's corpse. Sakura felt herself regain control over her body. She blinked a couple times and looked around. Well, that was really weird. I don't know what happened after I prayed. But all I know is that I never felt so powerful before. It was like I was an entirely different person. The way I was fighting. I never even moved like that before. What's even weirder is that while my body felt like it was acting on its own, I still could see exactly what I was doing. I could feel my every movement like I was the one doing it. When it really felt like I was just a passenger. I don't even feel any type of way about killing Hiro. What's going on? How come I'm not breaking down from killing someone? Not that I care about that bastard anyways. Sakura thought to herself. She was brought out of her thoughts by her mother's voice. You damn demon, what did you do to me, husband? Mebuki screamed. I did what he deserved. He was molesting me for years and you didn't do anything about it. Sakura screamed back. I don't care. I don't care if you were raped by Hiro. My life means nothing without him. I hate you. I wish I never gave birth to you. All you do is remind me of your father. Why did he have to die and leave me here alone with you? You know what? I don't care anymore. Mebuki rolled over Hiro's corpse a bit to take out a kunai from his holster. Hiro liked playing with his old kunai still. Since you took my only form of happiness from me, I'm not going to be stuck here with you. I don't care what happens to you, demon girl. No daughter of mine could ever be so brutal. I hate you. I hope your life is hell from now on. You should have never been born. Just like that damn Kyuubi brat. Both of you are nothing but demons. But I won't have to deal with it anymore. I'm going to go join Hiro. And maybe in our next life, we will have a happy life without a demon child you. Mebuki stabbed herself in the heart and fell on top of Hiro's corpse. Sakura felt numb to her mother's last words. While she couldn't deny that her words hurt, Sakura felt a bit relieved that she would no longer have to put up with such hell. It was now only her. She killed the man who was ruining her life. And her mother killed herself right before saying Sakura was a demon. Well, it won't do any good to stay here. I'm glad to finally be rid of them. But I still can't get over the fact that my mother, she spat with venom, would choose a man over her own child. Sakura left her house, silencing, hoping that she wouldn't have to return there. Konoha. Random forest. Naruto was bored out of his mind. He didn't feel like walking around the village. The villagers wouldn't stop glaring at him. He couldn't talk to Kurama since the fur ball is asleep. Not that the blonde could blame him. He figured if he had to be stuck in a cage all the time, he would probably sleep a lot too. Thankfully, something grabbed his attention when he heard a branch being broken. The blonde looked up to see a boy who had spiky black hair with a blue tint. Onyx color eyes. He looked the same age of Naruto himself. Hi. Naruto spoke up. Hey. Sasuke returned the greeting. Sasuke sat not too far from Naruto. Neither boy said anything for 10 full minutes. It wasn't an awkward silence. Surprisingly, the silence was comforting. Sasuke thought about making a conversation until he heard another set of footsteps approaching. The two young boys turned their heads to see a girl with pink hair and emerald eyes. She looked around the same age as they did. Hello. Sakura greeted them. Naruto smiled at her. Hi. Sasuke nodded. Hey. Even more surprisingly, Sakura sat next to the boys. Neither of the three said a word to each other. It stayed like that for a while. Sasuke was the one who spoke up first. So, who are you two? He asked curiously. Naruto grinned. I'm Naruto Uzumaki. I'm the Jinchuriki of the Kyuubi no Yoko. Sakura and Sasuke looked at him with confusing. Jinchuriki? They echoed. Yeah, it means human sacrifice. I don't know if you guys have seen me around or heard about me, but I'm pretty hated in the village. It's because the fourth Hokage sealed the Kyuubi inside of me when the fox attacked. Now I'm the container of him. But everyone hates me and ostracizes me because I'm a reminder of it. I won't take offense if you two no longer wants to talk to me. Naruto sighed. Sakura's eyes widened slightly. Wait, did you say Kyuubi? I do remember seeing you around the village before. And my birth mother did say something about a Kyuubi brat. Yep, that's me. I'm the Kyuubi brat that all the villagers talk about. Naruto said. Why would they hate you for something you have no control over? That's pretty stupid. It's not like you asked to be a Jinchuriki or whatever it's called, right? Sasuke asked. Hell no, I didn't. Me and Kyuubi Knight didn't ask for this. But now we have to deal with it because if I die, so does he. And I don't want my only friend to die because of me. So I'm pretty sure I'll have to become a shinobi to learn how to protect myself. Naruto shrugged. Wait, so does that mean you don't have any friends besides Kyuubi? Sakura wondered curiously. Yep, he's really the only one who looks out for me besides old man Hokage. But I hardly see him around since he's always busy. So me and Kurama just been getting by every day with no one but ourselves. Naruto replied. That sounds pretty lonely. Sasuke admitted. It's fine, I'm used to it. Although I do wish I had more friends to hang around. Believe it or not, you two are the only kids who stayed around me this long. The others either ignore me or try to bully me. Sometimes the adults chase me around and beat me up every now and then. Naruto looked into the sky. I know how you feel about being bullied. Kids at the playground bullied me for my forehead. And my stepfather and birth mother used to bully me. I'm surprised I'm even about to mention this. But since Naruto here shared a big secret of his, I guess I can tell mine. My stepfather molested me for almost 2 years now. He and my mother also used to beat me for whatever reason they could think of. My stepfather was a retired shunin. One time he hit me so hard my jaw almost broke. But today he told me he was going to rape me. I was so scared that I ended up killing him somehow. I don't know if it's a bloodline or what. But somehow I was able to beat him to a bloody pulp. It felt like my whole body was charged with electricity. I killed him by stomping his heart out after I crushed his chest. I didn't really get to enjoy it because I wasn't really moving my body. It's kinda hard to explain really because I don't understand it myself. But when I got back control over my body, my birth mother started yelling at me. She became a drug addict after my father died 4 years ago. My stepfather was able to help her get herself together. But he conditioned her to rely on him. So she allowed him to do whatever he wanted to me. After she was done saying how much she hated me and how I was a demon like Naruto, she killed herself. I left my house right after and ended up here. My name is Sakura Haruno, by the way. Sakura explained her story. Naruto and Sasuke was shocked. Neither really knew what to say after that. To think that a girl their age had to go through that with her own family. Naruto felt that he could sympathize with her. She was now all alone like him. He may have gotten beaten up several times and is even discriminated heavily against. No one ever tried to rape him. Sasuke sighed. Damn, you two sure have it bad. You make me feel like my problems are childish. Well, my name is Sasuke Uchiha. I came here because I got tired of my father telling me how much of a disappointment I was compared to my older brother Itachi. Itachi? You mean Itachi Uchiha? Sakura asked. The one and only. Sasuke grunted. My father always tries to compare me to him. For so long he's always picked my older brother over me. He hardly even spends time with me. I know he's a clan head. But he still makes time for Itachi rather than me. He always puts me down saying how much better Itachi was than me at the age I am now. Then he told me what the elders thought of me. After hearing just how much of a disappointment I was to my family, I got fed up and ran out of my house. My mother did ask me what's wrong. I'm sure she's had a word or two with my father by now. Even though I never had parents. I'm glad I don't have parents like those. At least your mom sounds nice, Sasuke. Naruto said. Yeah, she is really nice. In fact, she's the only one who believes in me. I actually just found out that my mother is actually stronger than my father. I just don't know how strong is she really. I've never seen my mother spar before or anything. I'm kinda curious as to what she can do. One day I plan on finding out. Sasuke smiled. The trio kept on conversing about whatever came to mind. Before they knew it, 3 hours had passed. Man, this is really nice. I've never talked to people like this before. Only Hokage Gigi and the people at Ichiraku's treat me nicely. Naruto grinned. Yeah, talking to you guys made me forget for a while about I did to my stepfather. I never had friends before. Sakura admitted. I never had friends before either. I have some cousins in my clan, but I'm not really close to any of them. They all feel like strangers to me. Honestly, I wouldn't mind having you two as my first friends. Sasuke voiced with a small smile. Me too. You guys didn't shun me away after I told you about Kurama. I would be really sad if we couldn't be friends. Naruto admitted. Well, I say that settles it. Looks we are all friends now. I honestly hope we can stay friends for a long time. Because as of right now, you guys are all that I have left. Sakura agreed. Yeah, you guys are all that I have too. Naruto said. I don't know how to feel about my father or brother, but I do really love my mother. So I guess all I really have are her and you two. Sasuke said. So what do friends do? Naruto wondered. Sasuke and Sakura shrugged. I think they hang out together a lot. The Pinkett voiced a bit unsure. That sounds right. Will do you guys plan on becoming a ninja? I kinda have to since I'm a Jinchuriki. According to Kurama, we are seen as weapons for our villages. So I'm pretty sure I won't have a choice in the matter. Not that I care, I want to be a shinobi anyways. But we could train together if we all become ninjas. Naruto said. I'm definitely becoming a shinobi. I want to prove that I can be great as just Sasuke. Not Sasuke Uchiha, the son of Fugaku and brother of Itachi Uchiha. Plus I want to be able to protect you guys if we run into trouble. That's what friends do, I think. Sasuke answered. I was unsure at first. But I long decided to become a shinobi so I can train to protect myself from my stepfather. Now that he's dead, I won't have to worry about him anymore. But I still wanna become a shinobi. I want to learn how I fought my stepdad the way I did. I also wanna become a legendary kunoichi. Sakura spoke her piece. Well, it's settled then. We are going to aim to be the greatest shinobi anybody has ever seen. Naruto yelled with excitement. Sakura and Sasuke shared his enthusiasm. Say, how about we train tomorrow at my clan training grounds? I mean, we could start off by seeing how we fight. Then I guess we could go to the library after. Sasuke suggested. The library? What for? I mean, they let me inside of there, but it's kinda boring. Naruto wondered. The library is so we can have access to information to make ourselves better. I agree with you, Sasuke. But what time should we meet up? Sakura asked. How about 9? We meet here at 9, then I'll take you to the Uchiha district. By the way, are you sure you want to go back home, Sakura? I mean, aren't there bodies still there? Sasuke asked with a raised eyebrow. Yeah, Sakura-chan, are you sure about going back there? Naruto also asked. Well, where else am I going to go? It's not like I want to go there. Sakura huffed. You could come with me. I live in an apartment by myself since I was kicked out of the orphanage a couple years ago. Naruto offered. Sakura looked at him with a surprised expression. Are you sure it's okay? We did kinda just meet a few hours ago. The Bond waved her off. Yeah, it's fine. I feel like I can trust you. You can take my bed and I'll take the couch. We can wake up early tomorrow so you can go get a change of clothes. Sakura blushed a bit. Thank you, Naruto. Alright, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Sasuke said as he left to go home. Naruto and Sakura made their way to Naruto's apartment. Naruto and Sakura were in front of Sakura's house. Since the young Pinkett stayed with the blonde for the night, they were here so she could change her clothes. When they walked in, Naruto was shocked to see 2 dead bodies on the ground. It wasn't his first time seeing one. In the red light district, he's seen a few people die from overdoses or alcohol poisoning. Not to mention the memories Kurama showed him of his parents fighting enemy shinobi together. He aspired to be just as strong, if not stronger than them, so he could make them proud. Sakura still felt nothing for her mother or stepfather's corpses. Which is still really weird to her. But she was actually grateful for it. She really didn't want to be sad over them. Granted, Sakura knew girls her age shouldn't be killing yet. The young girl knew that at that point, it was either her or Hiro. Her choice was quite clear. She ran to the bathroom to clean herself up. Naruto waited for her in the kitchen. By the time Sakura was dressed and had clothes packed up, it was already 8:30. Naruto and Sakura agreed that Sakura could room with Naruto as long as she wanted. He enjoyed having company. Plus, neither he or her really wanted to be alone. Sakura was more than happy to move in with the blonde she's only met less than a full day ago. It was amazing how much safer she could feel with him over her own family. The duo ran to the same spot they met at yesterday. When they got there, Sasuke was already there. It was only 8:50. Well, it's about time you two showed up. The raven-haired boy smirked. Hey, didn't you say 9? It's only 8:50. Naruto voiced. Sasuke shrugged. I did, but I got impatient with waiting. I've been up since 7. Couldn't wait to see us again, huh, Sasuke? Sakura teased lightly. Honestly, no, I couldn't. Sasuke admitted. Hamie and Sakura felt the same. We left to go to her house early so we wouldn't be late showing up. She's going to be staying with me from now on. We don't know what should we do about the corpses in her house though. Naruto answered. I guess we could go tell my mom about it. You might have to tell her exactly what happened, Sakura. I'm pretty sure she won't try to get you into trouble. Like you said, you were only defending yourself. Plus, it's going to be hard to punish an 8-year-old girl for killing a chunin without any proof. Not to mention he did have ill intentions towards you. Sasuke suggested. Sakura shuddered. Please don't remind me. Sorry. The raven-haired boy apologized. Said Pinkett waved him off. Well guys, how about we go to the library first instead? That way we could find something that interests us to try to learn. Both boys agreed. The trio made their way to the library. Uchiha District. Mikoto Uchiha was a bit worried about Sasuke. She was extremely worried when he left yesterday. He didn't return until a bit past midnight. Normally she would have scolded him for coming in so late. But she let him be since she knew he probably did not want to be home. Not that she could really blame him. The Uchiha matriarch did notice how much happier her youngest son seemed when he did return. It made her wonder what could have happened to make him that happy. Imagine her surprise when he nearly skipped out on breakfast this morning. As soon as he was done eating, Sasuke gave her a hug and ran out the door. While she was happy that her son wasn't still upset by her idiotic husband's harsh words, it made her wonder just what was going on with him. She sighed. Mikoto knew she wouldn't figure out anything until Sasuke decided to come home. And she had no way of knowing when that was going to be. Right now she had the house to herself. Itachi was still on a mission. Fugaku was with the clan elders, thank God. She really did not want to be near him. Last night she forced him to sleep in a different room. He had another thing coming if he thought he was going to sleep in the same bed as her after the shit he pulled. It pleased her when Fugaku didn't put up a fight about it either. The house didn't need to be cleaned. She thought about making lunch, but there was no telling if Sasuke was coming back for lunch. Fugaku hardly came for lunch, and even if he did, this time around he'll have to make his own. For now all the retired Junin could do was watch TV. Mikoto decided to do this because she really did not feel like walking through the village. While she did love Konoha, she did not love how some people looked at her because she was an Uchiha. Mikoto is known as a legendary kunoichi in her own right alone throughout the whole continent. Yet some people still think of her as a typical arrogant Uchiha like most of her clan members. It really pisses her off that she has to deal with that image. A huge part of her regrets not taking the title of clan head. She could have made a difference as to how people perceive the Uchiha clan. Unlike Fugaku, who seems to enjoy their clan being looked at this way. She was grateful that as cold as Itachi turned out to be, he wasn't arrogant. No, his eldest son was far from arrogant, unlike his father. Sasuke is the same. Her youngest child is not arrogant either. With him, all Mikoto needs to do is keep him from becoming arrogant as he gets older and grows stronger. Mikoto knew that out of her two children, the one who really had the most potential was Sasuke. As much as Itachi has accomplished at a young age, Sasuke is the one will end up being the strongest out of their family someday. She believed that wholeheartedly. There's nothing that will ever change her mind about that. Speaking of her lovable sweet son, Mikoto felt his chakra signature closing in. He was right in front of the gate to the district. He was only 5 minutes away from here. What caught her attention was the two other unknown chakra signatures along with him. I wonder who Sasuke-chan is with. Hopefully he's made some friends his age. He really doesn't talk much with his cousins. Only Shisui when he's around. But like Itachi, Shisui is also very busy nowadays. Mikoto said to herself. Her question was answered when she felt all three chakra signatures at the door. Imagine her surprise when she sees her godson Naruto Uzumaki, the son of her best friend and sister in all but blood Kushina Uzumaki. One of Mikoto's regrets is that she never got to take care of Naruto. She wanted to adopt him the next day after the attack. However, she wasn't the only one who wanted him. Danzo Shimura also wanted to take care of the blonde. Everyone knew he wanted to raise the boy to be a weapon. A weapon of his own ideals. Then there were some of the civilian council who wanted nothing more to kill Naruto. Mikoto wanted nothing more than to kill them along with Danzo that day. Unfortunately, the third Hokage had to make a decision and put Naruto in an orphanage. That way no one could complain about the imbalance of power between clans. It was already bad that some believed the Uchiha clan had something to do with the release of the Nine Tails. Mikoto also recognized the girl with them. If she remembered correctly, her name was Sakura Haruno. It was easy to say that Mikoto never got along with her mother. From the time where they were academy students all the way to adulthood. It didn't even matter if Mebuki ended up flunking out of the academy since she didn't pass the graduation exam. Somehow Mikoto always ended up butting heads with her. She learned about Sakura a few years ago when the girl was no more than 4 years old. She was one of her only ones who knew Mebuki was not mentally stable due to her husband's death. It made her feel bad for the child. Mikoto had wanted nothing more than to take the child herself to take care of her. But she would have gotten into trouble doing something like that. It also didn't help that at the time Mebuki was on the civilian council. Who would have thought that Sasuke would make friends with them two out of all the people? Mikoto said to herself. Welcome back home, Sasuke-chan. She smiled. Mind introducing me to your friends here? Hey Ka-san, this is Naruto. Sasuke pointed towards the blonde. And this is Sakura. He pointed to Sakura. We became friends yesterday. Since we all decided we want to become shinobi when we get older. We should start training together. We actually just came back from the library. Sakura made us read a book about chakra. Sasuke explained. Mikoto was surprised to hear this. Oh, so you three think you have what it takes to become ninja, huh? All three kids grinned at her. I know we do for a fact, Dadbeo. Naruto said. Mikoto's eyes went wide while Sasuke and Sakura looked at Naruto curiously. Dadbeo. Sakura echoed. Naruto looked sheepish while he was rubbing the back of his head. Ah, that's a verbal tic of mine that I get when I get excited. Kurama says I get it from my mom. Now if Mikoto's eyes weren't wide before. They sure was now. Oh, so you do know your parents? I thought you said you never met them. Sakura asked. I didn't, but Kurama was sealed in my mom before me. So he knows my parents pretty well. He showed me a lot of his memories of them. Many didn't know that my mom and Kurama were pretty close. Really only my dad and one of my mom's friends know. But I don't know who that is. Naruto answered. Naruto, are you sure you should just be talking openly about Kurama like that? Didn't you say it was against the law to do so? Sasuke questioned his friend. I don't mind. It's not like I'm ashamed of Kurama or being a Jinchuriki. I just don't like how I'm treated for something I had no say in. Plus that law doesn't apply to me since it's about me. I can tell whoever I want about it. At least that's what Kurama said. Apparently he was listening to when the old man told the village about the law. He told them the same day. He announced my Jinchuriki status. The blonde shrugged. I guess that makes sense. But you should still be careful about it. I wonder what happened to your parents while the fourth Hokage was sealing Kurama inside of you. Sakura said. Oh well, you see, the fourth is my father. I'm the son of Minato Namikaze and Kushina Uzumaki. Naruto shrugged again. Sakura and Sasuke were shocked. Holy crap, you do look just like the Yondaime. Sasuke yelled. How in the world didn't anybody else notice it? It's as plain as day. Sakura asked. Kurama said their hatred is blinding them to what's in front of them. I guess that means is that they refuse to acknowledge me because of what happened that night. At this point I'm kinda over it. Naruto answered. Mikoto didn't understand how in the hell did two of the biggest secrets in Konoha could be discussed so casually between these three. But she had to admit, she was very amused. At least I don't have to hide anything from him. Can't really be blamed if he found out from Kurama himself. I'll just have to warn him about going around and telling anybody. But I'm sure Kurama himself has already made that very clear. Naruto doesn't come off as he's stupid. So he must really trust Sakura and Sasuke. Mikoto thought to herself. Well, it's nice to meet you too. I'm glad my little Sasuke-chan is finally able to make him some friends. By the way, Naruto, I'm glad you do know about your parents. You see, it was forbidden for anybody who knew them to tell you about them. It was part of the Sandame's way of keeping you safe. If I could have had it my way, I would have adopted you like I originally planned to and told you about them myself. But unfortunately life had other plans. Mikoto voiced. Naruto was surprised to hear someone wanted to adopt him. Why would you want to adopt me? Mikoto smiled at him. Because I'm your godmother. Actually, you have two godmothers and one godfather. I understand if you don't believe me. But you can ask Kurama since he knows about me. I'm the only one besides your parents who knows of his true nature after all. Now Naruto was stunned. He quickly asked Kurama for confirmation. He received it immediately. It took everything he had to restrain himself from hugging the life out of her. Seriously, who would have thought that this entire time? It was people out there who was supposed to take care of him. Can I ask you, where were you when I was put out of the orphanage? This was news to Mikoto. You were what? Naruto nodded. Yeah, I was put out of the orphanage when I was 5 years old. I had to live out on the streets for a while until old man Hokage found out what happened. He put me in an apartment and that's where I've been living in ever since. I live in the red light district. The matriarch felt like face-palming herself. Out of all the places for a child to live, why put him in such a dangerous area? It's like the old fool is trying to get him killed. Who knows how many drunks he's had to deal with by now? She thought to herself. Tell me, Naruto, have you been attacked by the villagers often? I wouldn't know because every time I tried to search for you, I could never find you. Normally I would be able to try to sense your chakra signature. But I didn't know what it felt like. So it was even harder to find you. I even asked the Hokage about you. All he ever told me was that you were doing just fine. She frowned. Naruto really didn't want to admit just how bad he had it in the beginning. But he figured he might as well tell her the truth. She is his godmother. Also, from his perspective, she seems to genuinely care about him. I had some run-ins with the adults several times. It's not as bad as before. It's actually toned down a lot within the last year and a half. But sometimes the drunks still like to bother me. It's rare when I get beat up now. Back then, if Kurama couldn't heal me quick enough, then I normally ended up in the hospital from the beatings. Old man Hokage always told me that I should forgive the villagers. I kinda got the idea from him that if I don't fight back, eventually the villagers will see the error in their ways. He said fighting back will make me no better than them. If I don't fight back, one day they'll all respect me. Naruto answered. Sasuke and Sakura couldn't believe that the Hokage would actually tell Naruto such bullshit. He was basically telling Naruto to be their punching bag. And if they were mad, Mikoto was livid. Is Sarutobi out of his damn mind? What in the world is he thinking? It's like he's telling you that you should be the one asking for forgiveness. Who bloody knows when that, one day, would come. It won't matter if you end up being killed before they see how stupid they are. She ranted in anger. How dare he put her godson in such danger? Well, Kurama didn't like it either. In fact, he's not really fond of the old man. I myself don't really care all that much since I don't really see him as much anymore. I can always go to him if I wanted to. But I'd rather not irritate Kurama by being by him unless I have to. Plus the old man is busy a lot. Naruto said. Kami, if he knows you're a Jinchuriki, shouldn't you have Anbu guarding you? I mean, it only makes sense if he knows how people feel about you. Sasuke asked. I think I did before. But they only a couple actually tried to look out for me. I never really saw them unless I was in trouble. But I don't think I've had any for a long time now. Kurama hasn't sensed anyone following me ever since we first met. Naruto said. Mikoto sighed. Meaning that you've been unprotected for who knows how long. Just what the hell are those idiots thinking? Who knows, but hey, at least I'm not alone anymore. Sakura-chan is going to be living with me from now on. Naruto grinned. Mikoto was curious as to why. Sasuke could see it all over her face, so he explained the situation. To say Mikoto was shocked in an understatement. To think that an 8-year-old girl was able to kill a Chunin. Retired Chunin, but Chunin nonetheless. She had no reason to believe either Sasuke or Sakura was lying. For one, Sasuke never lies to her about anything. Another reason is that what 8-year-old girl would lie about being molested? If anything, Mikoto was happy that Sakura did kill him. Even if the girl wasn't in control of her body. So Mebuki is finally dead. Well, can't say it's all that surprising. I just feel bad how Sakura is an orphan now. Both her and Naruto have had it pretty rough up until now. Is amazing to see the girl not even fazed from killing. Then again, she did say even she didn't understand why didn't she feel bad about it somewhat. It was definitely not normal in any case. Then there's that bloodline she and Sasuke talked about. Never heard of such a bloodline before. Maybe, just maybe, I've found what my new role is in life. I can't rely on Fugaku to do his job with Sasuke. So it's up to me to make sure my baby boy becomes as strong as he can be. It's time for me to also take up my responsibility as Naruto's godmother as well. He'll be like my adopted son. Hokage be damned, he's not stopping me this time around. I feel really bad for Sakura. There's no way I can just leave her on her own. I can't believe that Mebuki would actually abuse her own daughter like that. She doesn't deserve to have such a sweet, beautiful girl as her daughter. No, what Sakura needs is a proper strong mother figure just like the boys do. Looks like I'm going to finally get a daughter. Mikoto thought amusedly to herself. Well, since you three want to become shinobi, how about you become my students? Mikoto offered. All three kids looked at her in shock. Are you serious, Ka-san? Sasuke yelled. The matriarch giggled. Of course, Sasuke-chan. Don't you know that your mother is a retired Junin? Not only that, but I have the strongest Sharingan of our clan. It's pretty amazing since it's rare for a female member to unlock it. I was one of the lucky ones. Also, your mom was quite a force to be reckoned with on the battlefield. Me and Naruto's mother were one of the most feared duos in all the elemental nations. I retired once I became pregnant with you. Also, I'm much stronger than your father. By the way, Naruto and Sakura, I'm sorry if I hadn't introduced myself before, but I'm Mikoto Uchiha. Naruto was the first to answer. Awesome. I definitely want Mikoto-sensei as our sensei. Sakura's eyes were wide. Mikoto Uchiha. You are the most powerful kunoichi. Even stronger than Tsunade-sama. Your moniker is Hano no Hakai no Megami. Flame goddess of destruction. The young Pinkett couldn't believe that she was in front of such a legend. Oh, so someone as young as even knows of little old me. I'm flattered, Sakura-chan. Mikoto smiled. I never knew you had such an awesome nickname. How come it's the first time I'm hearing about this? Sasuke asked with a raised eyebrow. Well, it's not like a lot of kids know about me since I retired before you were born. The older generation knows of me certainly. Plus Sasuke-chan, you never asked. It's only recently you started to ask more about me. But don't worry, anything you want to know I'll be happy to share. Mikoto told him. Sasuke was satisfied with her answer. He was more excited that he would be learning under his mom. Well, since you three look so excited, how about we go ahead and head to Go training grounds in the district? Before we do anything, you kids needs to learn about chakra more. And I mean for just practical purposes. Not what the books you read said. Mikoto said. Hi sensei. All three chorused together. Uchiha District, Training Ground 2. Okay, so I assume you all know what chakra is, correct? Mikoto asked. She got 3 nods. So Mikoto continued. Good. So while you three may have already accessed your chakra, you still haven't mastered its basic uses yet. While it might not seem that chakra can do much, in our line of work, chakra can seemingly make the impossible very possible. You would be surprised at just what you could see out there in the world. But what do you mean by basics, sensei? Sakura asked. Meaning the basic uses of chakra for a shinobi. Like tree walking, water walking, tree hopping, basic sensing skills. The first 2 I named are chakra control exercises along with the leaf concentration practice. Honestly, from what I know, the academy standards have vastly dropped over the years. I guess since we are in a time of peace, there's no reason to push the students so hard anymore. All that's doing is making our forces lazy. But hey, I'm not the Hokage. Mikoto replied. So, sensei, what does it mean when we do master the basics? Naruto questioned. You will definitely be more advanced than most academy students. To graduate nowadays, all you need to know is 3 very basic jutsus. Henge, Bunshin, Kawarimi are all you need to graduate. Once we see how good your chakra control is, mastering those 3 jutsus should be fairly easy for you 3. Then again, Naruto, in your case, your chakra reserves are most likely larger than Sasuke and Sakura. Because of your Uzumaki blood, you're born with fairly large reserves. Your mother was the same way. That's not even including the massive amount that Kurama possesses. So you will need to work hard to get good control. Otherwise you will be wasting extra chakra in your jutsus. Mikoto explained. Hi sensei. Naruto nodded with a determined expression. So what are we starting off with? Sasuke asked. Mikoto smirked. Meditation. All 3 kids groaned in disappointment. Oh come on you 3. Meditation is very important. It helps one get in tune with their chakra. Also it's good for you mentally. I promise you guys this will be a key part into your training. Mikoto smiled. How so? Sakura said. Meditating can help improve your senses. A shinobi needs to have sharp senses to survive on the battlefield. Trust me, they can save your life. I can't tell you how many times my senses save my tail. Mikoto said. Sometimes you may not be able to rely on your eyes. You may be blinded by something, which will force you to focus on your other senses. Like your sense of smell or hearing, for example. If you get good enough at sensing chakra, you could see chakra outline a person's body with your eyes closed, even if they are at a far distance. To get to that level takes a lot of training. Most Junin even struggle sensing to that degree. It's easier if you are a naturally born sensor. Like me, for an example. Luckily for you, I can teach you 3 how to get close to that degree of sensing. It'll be up to you as to how far you can take it. Mikoto explained. That seemed to catch their interest. Also, while doing this, we will be incorporating hand seals to get you 3 used to molding your chakra. You are going to practice molding your chakra with and without hand seals. I won't lie to you guys. My training will seem a little harsh at times. But I'll make sure you all are leagues above your classmates by the time you graduate. You have about 6 to 7 months until all 3 of you can go. Can we really become that strong, sensei? Sakura looked a bit doubtful. Mikoto noticed this and gently patted the girl's head. Yes, you can. In fact, you can become even stronger. But you have to put in the hard work to do so. I have high expectations for all three of you. We are also going to figure out this little bloodline of yours, Sakura-chan. She smiled. Sakura returned her smile. Okay, Mikoto-sensei. From there on, Mikoto had her three students meditating. Naruto had the easiest time with it since he's used to going into his mindscape to see Kurama. Sakura and Sasuke were coming along well. Mikoto could feel how calm their chakra is. She was a bit surprised at how quickly they picked this up. Well, not so much Naruto, but definitely the other two. For an hour she made them meditate before she started teaching them how to sense chakra in not just a person, but in anything that holds chakra. It didn't matter if it was a rock. Imagine her surprise once again when it took all three of her students no more than a few hours for them to get the hang of sensing chakra all around. If she was honest with herself, she didn't expect them to pick up chakra sensing for a while. Training yourself to sense foreign chakra was a difficult task that took time. Apparently these three didn't get the memo. The one who could sense the best out of them so far was Sakura. Her control over chakra was astounding. Mikoto was very taken off guard when she noticed how much bigger the Pinket's reserves were than she originally assumed. It's quite something since she's never sensed this amount of chakra from Mebuki ever. It wasn't her. Sakura's birth father was a powerful man either. He was nothing more than a merchant according to Sakura. Questions upon questions kept popping up about the three children she was teaching. If she didn't know any better, she would have to say that all three of them just may be natural-born sensors like herself. Something like this was truly something. She had decided to cut training for the day. They've been here for quite some time now actually. For their first day, they all did wonderful in Mikoto's opinion. Now she was fixing them all dinner. Fugaku still hadn't returned home yet. Not that she minded. Oh no, Mikoto was certainly enjoying herself spending time with her students. It made her wonder just how she would have done as a Junin instructor. Wow, Mikoto-sensei, I've never had cooking this good before. Naruto voiced in amazement. I gotta agree with Naruto-sensei, even my mom couldn't cook this good. Sakura added. Oh, you two stop it. I just may get a big head from being flattered so much. Mikoto giggled. So mom, what are we working on tomorrow? Sasuke asked. Other chakra control exercises. You'll continue meditating, but we'll also be doing tree walking. If you guys master that quick enough, I may let you try water walking. And can't forget about the leaf exercise. If you guys get these down by the end of the week, we'll start sparring. It will also give me a chance to show you how to enhance your physical prowess. Like speed, strength, general awareness, you name it. Once all of that gets done, we'll move on to some low-level jutsu. But I will be putting you all through the ringer once it comes to taijutsu. Mikoto lightly warned. Somehow Naruto, Sakura and Sasuke all felt dread in their stomachs at the same time. After dinner Sakura and Naruto left reluctantly. Only because Mikoto noticed it was getting really late. She knew they wanted to stay. So did Sasuke. Hell, even she wanted them to stay. But she figured she should let them go home for the first time. Next time she would offer them to stay over. She wanted to build a close bond with Naruto and Sakura. She already had one with Sasuke. But she needed one with her other two students as well. It's been a few months since Sasuke, Sakura and Naruto all became friends. Now they were the best of friends. It's not far off to say that they are all siblings. A bunch of young and reckless siblings. Ever since the day they met, it hasn't been a single day that they weren't with each other. True to her word, after their second training session, Mikoto offered Naruto and Sakura to spend the night. Itachi still was gone and Fugaku was not coming home that night. Never a day in her life did Mikoto believe she could have such a good time with three 8-year-old kids. She really enjoyed spending time with them. Surprisingly, all of her students wanted to learn about her that night. So she told them several stories of some of her missions from her days as a kunoichi. To the children, it was very intriguing to her about the experiences of a war veteran like Mikoto. They asked her all kinds of questions. She happily answered every one to the best of her ability. While she wasn't sure if answering questions about the Third Great Shinobi War to 8-year-olds was the best idea. But Naruto had already seen glimpses of it through Kurama. Sakura had already made her first kill. And Sasuke was her child. She knew he could handle it. Plus he'll hear about someone else's experience someday. Why not share her own so he has an idea of what to expect in the world they live in? During those 4 months, Sakura and Naruto stayed over very frequently. At least 3 times out of the week. Their company really did benefit Sasuke. He became a lot more open. Especially towards Mikoto. He was already a mama's boy. But now he's an even bigger mama's boy. Mikoto was forever grateful to Naruto and Sakura for entering her and Sasuke's lives. She probably wouldn't have developed such a close bond with her son if they hadn't. That's not to say she hasn't begun to feel similarly towards Naruto or Sakura. Those two she definitely considered her kids now. She could see that her 2 students also felt closer to her. However, she was going to let them decide how their relationship should be. As of now, Mikoto acted as their sensei and mother figure. Neither of them ever seemed to have a problem with it. So she figured that was her role to them. It was up to them if they decided to call her Ka-san or not. During this time, Mikoto taught them all the basics of chakra. It really surprised her just how talented these kids are. They learned all exercises within the first week. But she did make them focus on all of the basics for the entire first month. Mikoto wanted them to feel as if the basics were second nature before she moved on. Although she did include taijutsu during that month as well. She often watched the kids fight against themselves. Rather than she herself do so. She wanted them to find their own style of fighting. Sasuke had already began learning the interceptor's fist of their clan. So he focused on improving that. Naruto was a brawler type. He often improved in mid-battle. Sakura was a surprise. While at first she seemed very uncoordinated. Once she got the hang of it, she never looked back. The girl was a natural talent at hand-to-hand combat. She carried a brutality to her. Along with fierceness. But it was a calming feeling to it all. One day Mikoto had pushed her hard. It was only to see just how far Sakura could go. Well, that's when everybody got first glimpse of Sakura's bloodline. Apparently Mikoto had hit her harder than she anticipated. Sakura was briefly knocked unconscious before her bloodline kicked in. Let's just say that neither Mikoto, Naruto or Sasuke knew just how frightening and dangerous Sakura could be. The girl was able to not only take on Mikoto head-on, but Naruto and Sasuke as well. All at the same time. Granted, Mikoto was holding back considerably. Even if she was out of practice for several years. But Mikoto had to admit Sakura caught her a good amount of times. The Pinkett decimated Naruto and Sasuke in her warrior mode. That's what they decided to call it. Sakura now could activate her bloodline at will thanks to all the taijutsu practice Mikoto made her students go through. Sometimes it was hard for her to control herself from being too brutal. But Sasuke and Naruto enjoyed it very much. They loved the challenge. Fighting against her warrior mode really pushed their skills. It helped Mikoto since she could get a mini workout out of it. She wondered just how did Sakura ever get such a unique bloodline. Mikoto and Kurama both agreed that Naruto wouldn't try to channel his chakra until his body developed a little more. Or at least until his body was built up enough to handle the strain. Kurama wanted the blonde to be proficient with his chakra by time Naruto, Sakura and Sasuke graduate the academy. In the second month, Mikoto taught her students the Academy 3 since their chakra control was up to her standards. Naruto had the most trouble with the Bunshin technique. With some extra chakra control training, he was able to make a perfect Bunshin. During the third month, she wanted them to pick out subjects that they might want to learn. Sakura and surprisingly Sasuke wanted to focus on medical ninjutsu. Naruto wanted to follow in his parents' footsteps and take on fuinjutsu. It was obvious that all three of them were going to learn ninjutsu. All of them wanted weapons as well. But Mikoto said she wouldn't get them any real weapons until they were at least in the academy. But she wanted them to figure out what kind of weapon they wanted. Mikoto was a jack of all trades in different types of areas. So she could help out a lot when it came to weapons. Sakura also wanted to learn some genjutsu. Sasuke thought it would be useful if he learned some as well. Naruto figured he might as well try to learn one. He wasn't all that interested in genjutsu. So for the third and fourth month, Mikoto had them focus on taijutsu, medical ninjutsu and fuinjutsu. Ninjutsu was next on her list. Although she did find out their elements. Naruto is wind, Sasuke is lightning, Sakura is water and lightning. None of them saw their affinities as a big deal since Mikoto explained how if a person trained hard enough, they could master all of 5 elements. Just like the first and third Hokage. Right now her kids were at the library. Naruto was almost done with the beginner level of fuinjutsu. So he wanted to find a book for the next level. Sasuke and Sakura wanted to find more books on the human body. Apparently they wanted to learn as much as possible about the human body. Mikoto had showed them how to use the mystical palm technique. Due to her near-perfect chakra control, Sakura got it first. Sasuke got it an hour later. Just thinking of how much happened in the last few months. It drew her back to think of when she went to go see the Hokage a couple days after their first training session. Flashback. Hiruzen knew he had Ed up somehow. How did he know that? Because right in front of him was a furious Mikoto Uchiha. She did not look happy with him at the slightest. Just seeing the intensity of her glare made him inwardly shudder. What can I do for you today, Mikoto-chan? He asked politely. Don't Mikoto-chan me Sarutobi. She spoke in a steel tone. A tone that let Hiruzen know that she was not having it right now. I want you to explain to me why my godson was kicked out of the orphanage and was homeless for a period of time without you informing me. Aw shit, I'll be lucky if I make it out alive. The old cage thought inwardly. I see, you found out about it. Yes, it seems my youngest son was able to befriend him several days ago. Not only him but Sakura Haruno as well. They've been with each other every day since then. Young Sakura Haruno, we couldn't find her at her family's home. We just found out that her parents were killed 2 days ago. If it wasn't for the Daily Mailman, there's no telling when we would have known. Why didn't she report what happened? Hiruzen asked. Because she's the one who killed her stepfather Hiro. Mebuki killed herself in front of Sakura because she apparently couldn't live without the man. From what Sakura told me, what Hiro told her. Hiro had conditioned Mebuki to be dependent on her. She didn't get over her drug addict habits until he came along. For almost 2 years that bastard was molesting Sakura. And Mebuki was letting him get away with it while abusing Sakura herself. Mikoto growled in anger. Sarutobi sighed. He felt bad for the young girl. No one that young should have to deal with such problems in a space where they are supposed to feel as their home. He was curious about one thing. How did she kill Hiro? She shouldn't be no more than 9 years old. I know she's not in the academy either. If I remember correctly, Hiro was a retired chunin. Yes, he was, but Sakura killed him in self-defense. When Hiro was about to actually rape her for the first time, she awakened some sort of hidden ability. It allowed her to kill Hiro. Before you go asking, no, I don't know what this ability is. From the way she described it, I've honestly never heard of such an ability. But let's not get too off subject here. Answer my question, Sarutobi. Mikoto glared at him. Hiruzen felt his neck sweating. Look, Mikoto, I didn't know he was put out. I had Anbu stationed at the orphanage to watch over him. But the problem is, a good amount of the Anbu assigned to watch over Naruto never truly watches over him. They purposely ignored him. It had gotten so bad that only 3 people were trusted enough to watch him. Kakashi, Yugao and Itachi. But I needed them for higher ranked missions. So eventually I just stopped making Anbu guard him since they never did their job even if I threatened them. I'm just glad that Danzo hasn't been able to get to him. And that bastard never will if I have anything to say about it. Now why the hell would you tell Naruto to forgive the villagers after how they treated for years? Are you trying to manipulate him? Because so help me Sarutobi, I will send your old to the Ing grave if you answer wrong. Mikoto threatened. She already had her killing intent flooded throughout the room. Shit, she hasn't lost her touch in all these years. If I'm not careful I will die. Hiruzen thought. I didn't want him to take his anger out of Konoha. But the villagers get to take theirs out on him. Oh yeah, real convincing Sarutobi. Mikoto rolled her eyes. I can't afford for him to end up releasing the fox Mikoto. It's either him or the village. As much as I hate to do it, I do trust in Minato's seal. But with everything those ignorant fools put Naruto through, it's not hard to imagine the Kyuubi trying to take over his moment of darkness. It would only go to hell. Hiruzen said. I assume you haven't said anything to Jiraiya or Tsunade about this, haven't you? Mikoto asked. His silence was the answer she needed. You do know that when Tsunade finds out how you let the villagers abuse her godson, it won't be pretty for you. Jiraiya may let you off the hook. But there's no way Tsunade is. Knowing her, I'm sure she's always thinking of Naruto. If only she got over her damn phobia. Mikoto sighed. Yes, I do know. It means certain death on my part. He sighed himself. Can't blame no one but yourself, old man. At least you did protect him from Danzo. But I would kinda keep my distance from Naruto for a while if I were you. The fox isn't too fond of you. Naruto isn't sure what to think of you. Sasuke and Sakura are both questionable about your actions. I'm still pissed myself. However, I'll let you slide for a few favors on your part. Mikoto suggested, knowing he had no way out of this. Fine, what is it you want? First off, you reinstate me as a Junin by the time those three graduate. I should be well prepared to continue my duties by that time. Second, I want you to make sure all three of them end up on the same team. Third is that I want you to make me their Junin instructor. Fourth is if they choose to let me adopt them at some point in the future, you let me sign those papers with no questions asked. The council could kiss my at this point. Mikoto listed off her demands. Mikoto, you know I can't just put them on a team like that. It'll be unbalanced, plus it may show as favoritism. Hiruzen countered. I don't give a. You don't see the potential that I do in those three. They'll be at genin level by the time they attend the academy. You owe this to me, Jiraiya, Tsunade, Minato, Kushina and Naruto. Just make them a team. If I'm training them, then you know you won't regret it. Besides, you did want me to be a sensei before I ended up getting pregnant. This is the only way you are getting my services again if we aren't going to war. So pick wisely, old man. Mikoto smirked. Hiruzen sighed. Okay, I'll do it. It's not like I have much choice in the matter. Flashback end. It still makes Mikoto smirked remembering how she put the god of shinobi in his place. She didn't even have to use her Sharingan. Then again, she and Tsunade are probably the only ones who could get away with talking to Sarutobi like that. Mikoto was really proud and shocked how far her students grown in a short amount of time. Since Naruto and Sakura were around the district so much, people had grown used to them being around. Once they got over their wariness of Naruto, a good amount of clan members started being nicer to him. It made her so happy seeing the smile on Naruto's face. He was so happy that some people stopped treating him so poorly. Most stores in the Uchiha district didn't try to overcharge him anymore. Mikoto had to threaten a few stores to treat him fairly at first. She figured since she was often seen with Naruto, her fellow clan members saw that he couldn't have been that bad if their most powerful member treated him like family. It was reasons like this that Naruto and Sakura spent a lot of time in the district. Mikoto was brought out of her thoughts when she felt her kids' chakra signatures enter the district. They were closing in so fast, it took only 2 minutes for her to hear. Mikoto-sensei. Naruto's voice was heard. A smile formed on her face. Hearing her favorite blonde call out to her. Naruto, Sakura and Sasuke all entered the house. Each of them had books with them. I take it you guys found what you were looking for? The matriarch asked. She was given huge grins from each of her students. You bet, sensei. I found 2 books on Fuinjutsu. One is for the next level. The other is a book that was written by my dad. It starts from the beginner's level and goes all the way to master's level. It'll take me at least a year or 2 before I'm close to finishing it. My dad wrote so much in detail. The librarian said it's the only copy left in the whole village. Naruto gleefully explained. Me and Sasuke found more books on the human body. Since we already know about the organs and bones, it's time to focus on the nervous system in the body. We even found a book that goes into detail on what it takes to be a medic. Sakura said. Who would have thought the human body had so many functions? I swear sometimes it feels like my head is going to explode with all that information. But I can't say that I do not love learning about it. Me and Sakura were thinking of going to do volunteer work at the hospital to get some real medical experience. Sasuke added, seeing a certain look on her sensei's face. Sakura quickly spoke up. Of course he means once we are in the academy, sensei. She blurted out. Mikoto smiled. Good, I was wondering if I was going to have to remind you two again. Well, I have to say it is a good idea to go get actual experience from the hospital. I only know a little bit more than the basics when it comes to medical ninjutsu. So I'm not much help in that department. You did teach us the shosen, so that counts for something. Sasuke shrugged. Maybe so. Do you guys wanna study your new books or go out to train? Since you 3 have done nothing but surpass my expectations over and over, I believe you've earned the right to start learning elemental ninjutsu. I'm glad I got you 3 used to molding your chakra. Mikoto asked them. All 3 of her students looked at her with an awe-filled look, as if they had just won the lottery. It made her laugh to herself. Are you serious, Ka-san? We can really start learning ninjutsu? Sasuke voiced. I don't see why you 3 are so surprised. It's not like you haven't learned ninjutsu before. Mikoto mused. But this is different, sensei. You told us that since elemental ninjutsu can be dangerous, it'll be a while before we learn it. Naruto told her. Ninjutsu is dangerous, Naruto-kun. It's dangerous if it's used improperly. Remember how I told you 3 that if you aren't careful, it will blow up in your face? She received 3 nods of confirmation. Not only that, but you can do a lot of harm to someone if you are using it recklessly. It's really dangerous to use ninjutsu without proper control. What if you don't put enough chakra into your attack against the enemy like you assumed you did? If the enemy's jutsu overpower yours, then you'll either end up badly hurt or dead because of that one mess up. What if you put too much chakra into your attack while you are sparring against one another? Again, you could end up seriously hurt or worse, dead. Which is why I was strict when it came to your chakra control. I needed you to have a in-depth understanding of chakra before I taught you higher ranked jutsu. Mikoto explained. So we really are going to be learning higher rank moves. I'm so excited. Sakura voiced. Just so you know, genin typically don't know elemental ninjutsu until their sensei decides to teach them. Although most Uchiha kids already know of 1 or 2 fire-style jutsus before they graduate from the academy. I can't really speak for other clans, but I do know they also begin instructing their own kids in their clan teachings before graduation. Take the Hyuga clan for example. Remember when I showed you 3 a genjutsu of how they fight? Mikoto asked. Yeah, their style was pretty efficient, but it was too stiff in my opinion. Naruto answered. You'd be surprised how many think the same. I honestly think it's foolish for them to only rely on their clan abilities, which all derives from their gentle fist style. Mikoto said. So what are you going to teach us first? Sakura wondered. Mikoto smirked. I want you 3 to learn the great fireball jutsu. Sasuke-chan already begun learning it months ago when his father first showed him. But I don't think you ever mastered it yet, have you, dear? Sasuke looked embarrassed. No, I've been focused on all of the other things you've been teaching us. So I kinda forgot to keep practicing it. He sighed. No need to be down about it. I'm actually glad you didn't work on it. So this way all three of you can master it together as a team. Although since you have the most experience, you should be the one who master it first. Lucky for you guys, I happen to be very proficient in all 5 elements. Although earth is my weakest element, I'm also going to get you 3 started on elemental manipulation. It'll help you learn jutsus easier. I hope you 3 are prepared. Because from now on training is going to get more intense. Especially our taijutsu training. Mikoto voiced. Bring it on, sensei. All 3 chorused together with excited expressions. Mikoto led her kids to their usual training ground. Several hours later that night, Itachi Uchiha had finally returned home. He dreaded it since it meant he will have to deal with his father's nonsense again. He knew that his clan higher-ups were planning something. Sometimes he can't help but wonder how foolish the higher-ups are. He often felt bad for pushing away his brother and mother. But Itachi didn't want to risk snapping around them. He prayed that his younger brother would be like their mother instead of their father. Itachi knew that Sasuke hated being compared to him. He himself hated when his father did that to Sasuke. It was unfair to him. Hell, even Itachi himself didn't expect to become as good as he is so quickly. However, Itachi had faith that Sasuke would surpass him someday. As he got closer to his home, he felt some unfamiliar chakra signatures inside. Well, one of them isn't really unfamiliar. Itachi just hasn't seen Naruto for quite some time. He was completely unknown to the other signature. When he stepped inside, he could see he was right. Naruto was here along with his mother and brother and some pink-haired girl he's never seen before. He had to admit to himself that he is surprised by how natural everyone seemed to be getting along. He's never saw his mother or Sasuke this happy before. While he was happy for them, he felt even more guilty that he couldn't be a part of it. Mikoto's eyes had widened when she saw her eldest son back. She didn't pick up his chakra signature because she was too focused on her students. Welcome back home, Itachi. How was your mission? She asked. Naruto, Sasuke and Sakura all stopped talking to see that Itachi was actually here. Ni-san, Sasuke cried out. The mission went as expected. I don't know how long it is until I'm deployed again. Itachi walked past the group. If you're hungry, you could join you. Itachi had cut his mother off. No thank you, mother. I'd rather be alone. He said coldly as he walked down the hall. Sheesh, that guy is cold. Naruto said out loud. Sasuke grunted in annoyance. Thanks for stating the obvious, idiot. Oi, I'm not an idiot. He just didn't have to be so cold to sensei. He even ignored you when you called out to him. Naruto pointed out. Don't remind me. Sasuke looked away. Oi, you two no fighting at the dinner table, remember? Or do I have to punish you two again like last time? Mikoto raised an eyebrow. The boys both gulped in fear. They shook their heads vigorously. Thought so. Mikoto smiled. So that's the legendary Itachi Uchiha, huh? He doesn't seem much to me. I feel like sensei could wipe the floor with him. Sakura noted. Well, Itachi is very good. He's not in Anbu for nothing. While I am still stronger, he could probably catch me off guard since I'm still pretty rusty compared to how I used to be. It's hard to say at the moment. Mikoto said. Their dinner continued on. Like usual, Sakura and Naruto stayed over. A month later in the Hokage Tower. Itachi. Are you certain of this? Hiruzen asked. He's sitting in a room in between his advisors and Danzo. He had prayed what Itachi just said was not true. I am very sure of this, Lord Hokage. The Uchiha are planning to do a coup d'etat on Konoha. They feel as if they have been disrespected for far too long. I had figured that my father was up to something within this last year. Itachi answered. Do you know when it will be taking place? Homura asked. No, the date has been undecided. It was going to be set within the next 2 clan meetings. Itachi said. Hiruzen sighed. We can't afford to have a civil war within our village. We are still recovering from both the last war and the Nine Tails attack. Not only that, but many innocents will get caught in the crossfire. Maybe I can try to convince my father to head you out, Lord Hokage. I doubt he will, but it's worth a shot. Itachi offered. Hiruzen nodded. Very well, see what you can do, Itachi, and report back to me. It didn't take long at all for Danzo to meet up with Itachi later after that meeting. The Uchiha knew the old Warhawk would try to get into contact with him eventually. So he figured, why not just get it out of the way? Looks like we have quite the problem on our hands, Itachi. Danzo said. Unfortunately we do. Itachi said in a bland tone. Makes me wonder just whose side will you pick? Your family or the village? I couldn't blame you if you so happened to pick your family. But then your little brother would probably end up dying. Danzo mused. Itachi narrowed his eyes slightly. Stop playing games with me, Danzo. What do you want? Ah, there goes the cold-blooded Itachi. Very well, I want you to make a choice. You see, I'm sure Hiruzen knows that it won't look good if Konoha shinobi started killing a clan without any valid proof of their attempted crime. It will definitely lead to your brother swearing vengeance against Konoha, which will most likely lead to his death. Same could be said for your mother. If she sides with your clan, then I know Konoha will lose many valuable shinobi trying to take her down. Get to the point, Itachi voiced. Will you side with the Uchiha, which will lead to the death of your brother and maybe even your mother and yourself? Or will you side with Konoha and carry out a mission of eliminating all other Uchiha except for your brother? Danzo said. Itachi regrettably already knew his choice. For the good of Konoha, he will take out his entire clan. If only his clan wasn't so foolish. If only his father would talk to Lord Hokage to work something out. You do realize that I have very little chance of killing my mother. I'm quite aware of her prowess. Just do what you can do. Danzo replied. Itachi turned around. Fine, you have a deal. Danzo smirked. However, if my mother ends up surviving, you will not in any way try to harm her or Sasuke. You will leave them alone. If I find out that you broke your word, I will release top secret information to each of the great nations and come for your head myself. You would do well to remember this threat, Danzo. Itachi voiced coldly before turning into a flock of crows. Danzo grimaced. Damn it, he got me. He wanted to try to get Mikoto out of the picture, but now that was out of the question. He sighed. Well played, you brat. Danzo went back to his base. Itachi hated himself more than anything right now. To think he would have to take out his own clan in order to save Konoha. It was night time. Mikoto had decided to take the kids out for dinner in the village. She figured they deserved a special treat for how much they are progressing in ninjutsu. As she first thought, Sasuke was the first to master the fireball jutsu. Naruto being the second. Sakura being last, since fire is her natural opposites. She is a water and lightning type after all. Mikoto then showed them how to practice molding their affinities by using a leaf. She demonstrated by channeling fire-natured chakra into the lead, which in turn caused it to ignite and turn into ash. So far Sasuke was able to make a leaf wrinkle. Naruto was able to use his wind nature to split the leaf. Sakura could use her water nature to dampen her leaf. She did struggle with lightning for a bit. But after a few days of practice, the Pinkett got it down. So she taught them one jutsu each of their respective elements. She was proud that it only took them a week and a half to get them down. While she was happy that Sakura was able to master a jutsu for both of her affinities, she suggested to Sakura to pick one affinity to focus on for now. When she learns 3 of 4 more jutsu for one affinity, then she could focus on the other. So she chose to focus on water. Mikoto only taught them C ranks to start off with. She was going to keep it that way until she felt they could handle stronger techniques. As of now, they were all on their way back to the district. The more time she spent with Sakura and Naruto, the more she wished she could hear them call her Mom. These 3 were her babies and nobody could tell her different. As usual, Naruto and Sakura were staying the night again. They always slept in Sasuke's room. Not that Mikoto minded. She found it cute if anything. She and Fugaku still weren't on the best of terms. Even when she had threatened him. The man still had yet to apologize to Sasuke. So Mikoto refused to sleep in the same bed as him. It really didn't matter since she hardly seen him anymore anyways. Say Mikoto-sensei, so the academy starts next month, right? Sakura asked. That's right, dear. You three will start the road to your careers pretty soon. Mikoto said. Ah, but sensei, do we have to go? You already taught us everything in their curriculum and more. Way more, in fact. Naruto whined. I know, Naruto-kun, you three are borderlining Chunin faster than I expected. But I still want you three to go to the academy. There's no reason why you shouldn't get to enjoy your childhood as much as you can. Plus, it gives me a lot more time to train you guys the best I can. Trust me, these next few years will be very useful to your skills. You need that time to excel at fuinjutsu and other arts. Just as Sasuke and Sakura need it for medical ninjutsu. I would prefer that they are full-fledged medics before you guys are put into a squad. Mikoto explained. Full-fledged medics. Sakura and Sasuke screamed. Yes, full-fledged medics. As crazy as it sounds for kids your age. I truly believe you two will be excellent medics by the time you graduate from the academy. Especially at the rate you're learning at. Mikoto smiled. Little did any of them know, Itachi was high on a pole watching them. He was waiting for them to return actually. When he saw his mother turn his head in his direction, he was already out of sight. Do you really think we could do it, Ka-san? Sasuke asked. I know for a fact you can, Sasuke-chan. All of you are my precious students and kids. I have nothing but the utmost faith in each of you. Mikoto stated with so much pride laced in her tone. She didn't realize just how much her words meant to her students. All three of them had tears leaking out of their eyes. But they were quickly wiped away so they wouldn't worry their sensei. When they arrived at the gate entrance to the district, Mikoto instantly felt something was off, and she wasn't the only one. Sensei, how come I can't sense any chakra signatures around here? Naruto asked. It was long confirmed that Sakura, Naruto and Sasuke were natural-born sensors just like Mikoto. The matriarch figured she must have passed on her ability to Sasuke instead of Itachi. This is when Mikoto's protective instincts kicked in. Channeling chakra into her nose, she gasped at the amount of blood that was in the air. Oddly, it was only one person out of the entire district that she could sense. She quickly turned around to see her students looking at her with confused expressions. Mikoto looked at them seriously. I don't know what's going on. But I'm going to go find out. I want you three to stay here until I get back. She told them. All of them looked at her with wide eyes. But Ka-san, Sasuke said. Damn it, Sasuke, just listen to what I said. I don't want to risk any of you getting hurt. She cut him off and ran into the district. Sakura looked at her best friends. Guys, what should we do? There's no way in hell I'm staying here while Sensei is all by herself. I know she's stronger than all of us combined and much more. But it just doesn't feel right staying here. Naruto replied with determination. Well said, Naruto. Come on guys, we're going after her. Sasuke ran ahead with the other two right behind him. As they were running, they couldn't help but notice the corpses on the ground. Naruto was used to seeing corpses by now thanks to Kurama. Sakura not only killed her stepfather, but she and Sasuke had asked Mikoto to show them genjutsus of dead bodies and gory injuries to get them used to seeing them. Being future medics only meant they were going to be subjected to sights like this. Mikoto had explained that severe injuries are common on the battlefield. Mikoto herself had just arrived at her house. She couldn't believe the amount of corpses she ran past. It only took her a few seconds to reach the room the chakra signature was coming from. When she slammed open the door to the room, her fears were confirmed. Itachi, Mikoto muttered. Itachi had his sword deep within Fugaku's back. He turned around to see his mother was in front of him. Hello, mother. Mikoto could not believe what she was seeing. Did his eldest son really kill their whole clan? For what reason? Itachi, what the hell is going on? She yelled as tears started falling out of her eyes. Itachi looked at her with the same stoic look. I'm sure you can figure it out for yourself, mother. Just as Mikoto was about to reply, she felt 3 chakra signatures of her students. Oh no, she said internally. Ka-san, Sasuke yelled. Seems like everyone is here. Itachi said. Sasuke, Sakura and Naruto has all arrived in the room. They were shocked to see Itachi with his sword in Fugaku's back. Father! Sasuke cried out. He looked at Itachi. What are you doing, Itachi? What I'm about to tell you all is SS class secret. No one but the higher-ups know what took place tonight. Itachi said. The higher-ups? Mikoto echoed. Itachi nodded. Yes, I was ordered to eliminate our clan. None of you knew this, but the Uchiha were plotting a coup d'état against Konoha. Within the last year the clan meetings have been happening a lot more. Discussing our position and treatment in the village. The whole segregation of the Uchiha clan. Father and the elders were growing fed up with the treatment. So they began to plan a way to take over the village. I had only learned that the plans were confirmed when I got back from my last mission from Father himself. Why, you're lying. Why would Father want to betray the leaf? Sasuke yelled. Sasuke. Mikoto told him. Sasuke looked at his mother. She had an angry look on her face with tears flowing out of her eyes. You don't know this, but I had my own suspicions of your father and the others within the last several months. I had noticed how much your father was starting to change. He was home a lot less than before. Also more cold than before. It was easy to tell that our clan's arrogance was getting the best of him. So I did my best to focus on you so you wouldn't pick up on his attitude. He was already failing you as a father as it is. I had told Fugaku to apologize to you for saying you were a disappointment to him and our clan. I scared him so bad he almost pissed himself. But in the end he never apologized. So we weren't on the best of terms ever since then. Hell, even before then I could tell our marriage was falling apart. Mikoto explained. Sasuke was stunned by his mother's explanation. He didn't realize that she was protecting him this whole time. I see you believe me. However, do not blame the Hokage for this. He did try to fix things before they got out of hand. But Father wouldn't have a meeting with him. Danzo Shimura was the one who gave me a choice. To either side with our clan and risk Sasuke dying. Or side with Konoha and keep Sasuke alive. Itachi said. Before any of them could respond, Itachi showed them a genjutsu that replayed the exact events he told them. From the clan meetings to Danzo's order and the Hokage's regret in agreeing. From the outside world, only 5 seconds had passed. When it was over, Mikoto had looked at Itachi with more tears falling out of her eyes. Itachi, why did you take this on alone? Why didn't you come to me for help? Because I couldn't let you tarnish your reputation. It would be a huge blow to Konoha politically. Considering how you were the one who was originally supposed to run our clan. But I am glad you all know the truth. Just know this, I was not alone in this massacre. Someone else helped me. He will be a threat in the future, so make sure you all are prepared. From this day forward, I will be marked as a missing nin. Sasuke, you and your friends need to get strong enough to make sure I atone for my crimes. As well, make sure Danzo pays for crimes against our clan. And mother, I'm sorry, but I hope you survive. Itachi moved at high speeds. Because Mikoto was caught off guard. She only had enough time to step in front of her kids and take the blow head on. She didn't even have enough time to use Kawarimi. Itachi had cut his mother right down the chest. She fell on the ground not moving. Sensei Ka-san, Naruto, Sakura and Sasuke yelled. All 3 of them glared angrily at Itachi. To Itachi's surprise, all of their eyes were different. Sasuke had awakened his Sharingan. Naruto had red eyes with slits as pupils. Meaning he was using Kurama's chakra. Sakura's eyes were glowing, making her emerald eyes much brighter than usual. Itachi didn't know it, but she had activated her bloodline partial in her anger. Get strong enough to kill me and our other enemies, you 3. I'm counting on you. Itachi disappeared into a flock of crows. Go to hell, Itachi. I swear I'm kicking you the next time we meet. Sasuke roared, feeling his anger intensifying along with the dread feeling of his mother possibly dying. The amount of trauma he was in caused his chakra to spike. He felt his eyes swirling. From his friend's perspective, Sasuke's eyes had gained 3 full tomos in both eyes, then morphed into 3 intersecting ellipses. Sasuke's eyes widened as he felt a rush of chakra invade his body. Whoa Sasuke, your eyes went from a normal Sharingan to a similar one Sensei has. Naruto yelled. Mangekyo Sharingan, we don't have that kind of time to focus on it right now. Sasuke yelled back. Naruto. Sasuke. Help me carrying Sensei now. We have to get her to a hospital. Sakura ordered her friends. The young 3 children were roof hopping as fast as they could. Thankfully Mikoto had only started bleeding out halfway there. The cut was really deep. It only took them 5 minutes to arrive at the hospital. When they ran in, Naruto yelled for a doctor. Immediately people brought her a stretcher to lay her down on. The doctors immediately rushed her back to a vacant room to begin emergency surgery. Sasuke, Naruto and Sakura were all scared of the possibility of losing Mikoto. They felt so helpless that all they could do was watch Itachi strike her down. And not only that, they had no way to help heal her. Deep down inside it lit a fire under them. Their drive to become stronger increased. None of them wanting anything like this to ever happen again. Sasuke and Sakura swore to themselves internally that they were going to become the best medics Konoha has ever produced. Naruto swore he would become a master of Fuinjutsu so he could different ways to protect his friend and sensei. Hiruzen had showed up 30 minutes later. Naruto-kun, I'm sorry for what has happened. I'm sure Mikoto will make it out fine. The old man tried to comfort Naruto. The blonde heard Kurama growling inside of him. I swear if that old man doesn't leave. As if he didn't sign off on the order. Kurama said to him. Naruto himself really didn't feel like being by the old man. He really didn't know how to feel about him at the moment. While he did know the truth, it still stung knowing at the end of the day he signed off on the mission. The Uchiha clan were the clan who treated him the nicest after all. It's no way all of them could have been plotting against the village in his mind. Kurama was feeling the same anger Naruto was for Mikoto getting hurt. While he wasn't fond of humans, the only ones he swore to himself to protect was Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura and Mikoto. As far as he was concerned, while Kushina was Naruto's birth mother, Mikoto was his actual mother. She is the one who looks out for him and tries to take care of him. Thanks Gigi, Naruto whispered. After saying a few words to Sasuke and Sakura, Hiruzen left. Nobody said any words for a while. It wasn't until an hour and a half later that Sakura spoke up. Naruto, Sasuke, is it wrong for me to think of Sensei as my mother? She asked. Sasuke and Naruto were shocked by her question. It was Sasuke who spoke up after. Honestly, I don't mind it. I would have to be an idiot to not see how you guys adore my mom. She adores you just as much if not more. Whenever you guys don't stay the night. While I do feel lonely and a little sad, it really hits my mom hard. I mean, we both still get by with just us two. But it doesn't feel complete until you guys come around. She worries about both of you a lot. The only reason she doesn't worry about me as much is because I'm normally at home with her. She treats us all as if she gave birth to all of us. I've never felt as close to Itachi as I do with you two. It's been a few times where I had to stop myself from calling Sensei, Mom. Ever since she's told me that she was my godmother. She's been the mother I've never had. I never knew what any form of love felt like until I met Sensei. Naruto admitted. Sounds like we are going to be a family. I'll be the older sister while you two are my younger brothers. Sakura smiled, making Naruto the youngest out of us all. Sasuke smirked. Hey, that just means I'll be Sensei's favorite. The youngest always get favorited. Naruto grinned. Dream on Naruto, you know Sensei doesn't play favorites with any of us. Sakura smirked. That's true, but Sasuke may be her favorite with him being the biggest mama's boy in history. Naruto teased his best friend. Oh, shut up Naruto. Sasuke grumbled with a small blush on his face. They talked for another 2 hours before a doctor finally walked out towards them. I see you three are very eager for the news. Well, she'll definitely survive. The cut wasn't as bad as it looked. Knowing the type of kunoichi she is. Once she wakes up, all she will need is a full days of rest and she can go back home. I'm sure she will be sore in that area for a couple of days. The doctor explained. All three kids let out a sigh of relief. Can we go see her? Sasuke asked. The doctor nodded. Of course, we just put her in a room. I don't know exactly when she will wake up. It may be in an hour, a day, or several days. But just know she will be fine. Not a second later, Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura rushed off to her room. 3 days later, Mikoto felt herself waking up. Her vision was blurry and her hearing was working properly. When her vision cleared up, she saw flowers on a table, seemingly gifted to her, along with tomatoes, instant ramen, and container of umeboshi. All of her kids' favorite foods. Speaking of them, when her hearing cleared up, she heard their voices in the room. Slowly she sat up, feeling minor pain. Her kids were all having a conversation about something. Mikoto was very happy that none of them seemed hurt. A part of her feared that Itachi may have tried to harm them as well. Looks like I got lucky. Mikoto noted to herself, paying closer attention to her kids. She heard Sasuke saying, "For the last time, Naruto, we are not having ramen to celebrate when Ka-san wakes up." Sasuke grunted. Ah, but why? Ramen is the food of the gods. Naruto tried to convince him. Sakura sighed. Because Baka, how do you know she will want ramen? It's rude for us to choose where she might want to celebrate her recovery. Naruto didn't have an answer for that. Sakura and Mikoto both beat into his head on what's rude and not rude. Okay, you got me there, Sakura-chan. I don't wanna be rude to Mikoto-sensei after everything she's done for me. Mikoto felt her heart swell at his words. Good, plus it's not like she won't end up spoiling you anyways. You'll end up at Ichiraku's within the next couple days, no doubt. Sakura laughed. Damn, that girl knows me too well. They all do. Mikoto thought to herself. I'm surprised the doctors haven't tried to kick us out even when we stay hours past visiting hours. We've probably spent hours total outside of here within the last 3 days. Sasuke chuckled. Mikoto was stunned to hear that. It warmed her chest immensely knowing how much they cared about her. Knowing sensei, she wouldn't have spent no more than an hour away from here if it was any of us in her position. Naruto grinned. Damn right I wouldn't. Mikoto spoke up finally. Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura all turned their heads to see Mikoto sitting up on the edge of her bed. She was smiling at them. It took a full 5 seconds before all three of them ran up to her yelling, "Sensei Ka-san." Mikoto wrapped all of them in a tight group hug. She was a bit sore where she was cut, but she could deal with the pain. This is what she really needed right now. Hearing all three of her children crying for her brought even more tears out of her eyes. She didn't let go of them until 5 minutes had passed by. The kids gave her some space. Wow, I'm so glad you three are okay. I was afraid that Itachi might have harmed you. Mikoto sighed. Nah, he only told us to make sure we kill him, and the others he told us about before he left. We rushed you here right after. Sasuke answered. Good. I got really lucky that I survived. Next time I won't be caught like that again. I know you all probably want to talk about what Itachi told us. But it's not safe to talk about it in a public area like this. We'll talk about it later after I'm able to go home. By the way, who brought the flowers? Mikoto asked. It was us actually. We bought them from the Yamanaka shop. Sakura answered. You three are just the sweetest things. Mikoto cooed. They talked for a bit, basically catching Mikoto up on what they've been up to the last 3 days. Sasuke had spoken up again. Hey Ka-san, I have something to show you. He said. What is it? Sasuke closed his eyes and opened them again. He showed her his Mangekyo Sharingan. Mikoto was stunned beyond belief. Is that? She asked. Sasuke nodded. Yep, it's my Mangekyo Sharingan. When I saw Itachi strike you down, my Sharingan awakened right after that. But when he left, I was feeling really depressed. My eyes then changed into this. I felt a huge surge of chakra when it happened. He shrugged. Mikoto just stared at him for a bit before shaking her head. I swear you three are never going to stop surprising me. Awakening your Mangekyo is hard enough as it is, since not all Uchiha can even unlock their Sharingan. That just goes to show how rare it is for one to awaken their Mangekyo at all. I don't think there's ever been a child who is not even 9 years old yet has ever awakened their Mangekyo. Sasuke-chan, you sure are a rarity, just like your mother here. You don't know this, but your grandfather also had the Mangekyo. Before he died, he told me he wanted me to have his eyes so I would never suffer from going blind from overusing my eyes. Your father also had the Mangekyo, but I never told him I had the eternal Mangekyo. I don't think you saw Itachi's eyes, but he also has the Mangekyo. Now that you do, I'm going to have to train you so you can control your Sharingan completely. When you graduate from the academy, we can transplant your father's eyes into yours so you won't have to worry about going blind from overusing the Mangekyo Sharingan. I would do it sooner, but I'd rather wait until your body develops more. Sasuke nodded. He was a bit intrigued by the fact that his whole family had the advanced stage of the Sharingan. He didn't like the fact that he had to get his father's eyes transplanted into his own though. After a while, Sasuke decided to go to the bathroom and find a doctor to let them know his mother woke up. That left Sakura and Naruto with Mikoto, who were both a bit nervous as to what was on their minds. Being their sensei for almost 6 months, Mikoto could instantly tell something was bothering them. Naruto-kun, Sakura-chan, what's wrong? Sensei, can we tell you something? Naruto asked. Sure, you two can always talk to me about anything. Well, me and Naruto for the last few months have been getting really attached to you. As far as I can remember, I never really had a good relationship with my mom. I barely know about my dad since he died when I was really young. You already know how things turned out in the end with my family. But with you it's different. I never really felt this close to my mom like I do with you. Every time I think of the word mom, you pop into my head instead of my birth mother. Sakura said. Naruto continued from there. Yeah, I never knew my parents until a few months ago. While I did learn a lot about them from you and Kurama, I still really don't know them. So it's kinda hard to think of them as my parents. Maybe things will be different when I finally meet them inside of my mindscape. I may form some type of bond with them. Same could be said for my other godmother and my godfather. But sensei, it's different when I think about you. You're like the mother I've never had. It's kinda hard for me to stop myself from calling you mom sometimes, you know. Even Kurama said he thinks of you as my real mother. Mikoto was choked up. She was crying again, wondering just more was they about to say. So sensei, we talked about it with Sasuke and we were wondering if you wouldn't mind adopting us. Sakura asked. Mikoto pulled them both into a tight hug and sobbed. Of course I'll adopt you too. I've always felt like you two were my own children. Naruto and Sakura cried into her shoulders. They spent some time like that. Sasuke did show up until 20 minutes later. 2 weeks later. Come on, you three, we're almost there. Mikoto said. It's been 2 weeks since the Uchiha massacre. Word has been spread all throughout the continent about what took place. Mikoto had went to talk to Hiruzen about the incident. Hiruzen apologized to her for what had happened. She waved it off, not really caring for his apology. She heard enough of them at the time. They talked about it for a while and Mikoto let him know that Danzo will be dealt with in the future by her kids. It was nothing Hiruzen could do to change their minds about it. Hiruzen didn't have too many problems with it since it may be better off if Danzo was taken down. He was having his doubts that Danzo got rid of his root organization like Hiruzen told him to. Mikoto did let him know that Sasuke awoken just Sharingan but kept his Mangekyo to herself. She also said that the CRA was out of the question for both her and Sasuke. Hiruzen agreed considering he knew he owed Mikoto a great deal after this massacre. After all of that, Mikoto had taken the adoption papers Hiruzen had gotten for her, along with a scroll that had Naruto's inheritance inside of it. Sakura was already given the rest of her parents' savings a couple months ago. She brought the papers back filled out the next day, officially becoming the adopted mother of Naruto and Sakura. They celebrated a lot that night. It was also the night Sakura and Naruto moved in with her and Sasuke officially. Ever since then, the kids have taken their training up to the next level. So Mikoto decided to spoil them and be a little lenient about the weapons. Since they started the academy in 2 weeks, she figured she could go take them to buy their weapons. They earned it after how hard they've been working. And we are here. This is the best weapons shop in all of Konoha. The owner actually is from the land of iron. He's good friends with the Mifune. He sells many top-notch material weapons here, she told her kids while they were walking in. What's his name again? Sasuke asked. Before she could speak up, an older male voice answered Sasuke. Well, young man, my name is Izuru Mashiro. I'm an old man who've been around far too long. Old Izuru chuckled. Mikoto greeted him with a smile. It's good to see you again, Izuru-san. Ah, little Mikoto-chan, I see you haven't aged a bit ever since you were a kid still to this day. What brings you here? Izuru asked. You still too kind, Izuru. But I'm here so my kids can pick out a weapon they want to use. I've been training them for quite some time now. They are about to start the academy soon, she answered. Oh, these young whippersnappers look like the academy will be child's play for them. Judging by their aura, you did a good job training them, little Mikoto-chan. Izuru complimented. Thank you. Alright, you guys, go look around to see what catches your attention. Remember what I said about some weapons. They can pick you rather you picking them. Mikoto said. Naruto, Sasuke and Sakura scattered across the store. Izuru and Mikoto was talking during that time. Mikoto had told him what they were training in. Izuru decided to help her out and went into his back room. When he came back, he had 2 big books. Apparently during his travels, he picked up a few things along the way. One was a book full of Uzumaki Fuinjutsu notes that he had no chance in understanding. The other one was a book about medical ninjutsu that Tsunade wrote a long time ago. It was the only book Tsunade has ever wrote about medical ninjutsu. The reason why Izuru has kept them for so long is because he didn't know what to do with them since he didn't want to sell them. Now he had the perfect idea of what to do with them. Naruto ended up picking an adjustable katana. Sakura had a white metal bow staff. Sasuke had the most unique weapon. He had gauntlet blades that had a hidden compartment that lets you shoot small metal arrows from it. With Naruto and Sakura's weapons, you can change the length and weight of the weapons by channeling chakra through a certain seal on it. All of their weapons were made from a high-grade chakra metal, so they could use chakra to enhance the durability and make their weapon stronger. Mikoto was glad that Naruto's katana was adjustable since she felt that he wasn't big enough to properly handle a full weight and length katana just yet. Soon, but not yet. When the kids learned about their books, they thanked Izuru profusely. The old man even gave them a discount off of everything, so it was fairly cheap to pay for. For the first week of the 2 weeks, Mikoto helped them break in their new weapons. If they weren't doing that, then it was taijutsu spars and ninjutsu practice. Naruto felt that pretty soon he was going to be done with the intermediate level of Fuinjutsu. He felt like he was going to start making his own basic seals eventually.